Hi everyone again. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. We've actually been having a few problems with the live stream producer. Hopefully this time it won't cut out. What I was saying earlier was my husband and I were able to book a trip about a week ago, and we found out about the trip because our friend had a timeshare that they weren't able to use, and they were offering it to anyone for free. We booked our trip and left 2 days later, and our business did not suffer. We were able to run our business entirely from our phones, which is pretty awesome, I think. And we've been able to do that from all over the world. We've done flipping, apartment investing, short-term rentals, long-term rentals. So these tips and tools that I'm going to go through, they are not specific to one type of business. You'll be able to use these apps that I will be highlighting in any business. It doesn't even need to be real estate investing, but for us, that's what we do use these tools for. So I'm really excited to share these with you. I'm just going to give it a couple more seconds to make sure that we've worked out all of the technological difficulties, and I apologize for that in advance. But hopefully we can get going. What we were trying to do is, a few people have commented about the quality of the video, so we're trying to increase the quality of the video, but unfortunately it's proving to be a little bit more challenging for us. So hopefully next week we'll be able to be back on live with better quality, but unfortunately I had to go back to the original quality that the previous videos were recorded in. So without further ado, because I know everyone's really excited, I've talked to a lot of people in advance of this live stream, and people were really excited to hear what apps that I'm using to conduct my business entirely from my phone. And I truly mean that. I do not need my computer when I travel. I just take my phone and I literally can run. We have two businesses. So we have an apartment syndication business, and we also have a flipping business, and we can run both businesses entirely from our phones. So it's pretty cool. So let's get started. I hope everyone has a pen and paper ready, because there are a lot of apps that we use, and there are also a lot of different apps that other people use that I can talk a little bit about. Obviously, I don't have as much experience using it in terms of functionality. So later on, if you're asking me about a question with a specific app, I might not be able to answer all of those questions, but hopefully I can point you in the right direction. So to start, when we first got started in our business, we were looking for free applications. We didn't want to put more money into the business than we were getting out. And at that time, we were trying to save every single penny we had, so we looked for free applications. The greatest thing about this podcast or live stream that I'm doing right now is, I would say 99% of the content that I'm about to tell you is all free. So I know that there are other applications that you can pay for, and they're all inclusive. They do a lot of different functionalities that several of the apps that we use do. However, this is how we started, and it worked. So why change it if it works? It's efficient for us. And unless there's some functionality that we need in the future, we'll continue using these applications. So I first want to give a comment about that. I have no stock in Google. I am not an employee of Google. No one in my family is an employee of Google. I have no affiliation with Google, except that I'm obsessed with Google. The reason why I'm obsessed with Google is able to provide multiple applications in which we can run our business, and they don't charge for it. And they integrate. So the best part about using Google applications is the fact that there's integration amongst multiple applications. So when we're creating documents, we utilize Google Docs. Google Docs has the ability to share with members of your team. So anytime that we're creating a document, for example, we create every time we do a flip, we create a rehab overview that we provide to the appraiser coming in, and it lists the entire rehab we did on the house with before and after pictures, as well as comps to justify the price that we are under contract for. Obviously, an appraiser is going to do their own work, but the Google Doc in creating this document allows for me to share with a project manager on that specific project, as well as our realtor, my husband. So I really like Google Docs because it's able to do a lot of different features, as well as you can access it from your phone. Like I said, all of these applications are mobile accessible. Excuse me. So we have Google Docs. Google also has Google Sheets, same functionality. You can share with other people. We can get on a call together. I can be on the phone with my dad or my brother, who are both project managers, and we can be looking at Google Sheets together and looking at the rehab of the house or the schedule, all within Google Sheets. So we're able to track that and see live changes. As soon as I make a change, the person viewing the document, wherever they may be, can see that change live, which is really, I think, pretty cool. Google Keep is another application we use, Google Projects. And then we also, for storage, use both Google Drive and Dropbox. So I actually use Dropbox for our apartment investing, our apartment syndications. Personally, I still prefer Google Drive over Dropbox. I know everyone has their own preference. I recently had to upgrade for additional storage in Google Drive. That's after using Google Drive for 4 years. Whereas I've been using Dropbox for a couple of months, and I had to increase my storage. Google Drive charges us, I believe it's $1.99 a month, and Dropbox is significantly higher than that. So just from a cost standpoint, I would highly recommend Google Drive. It's also very easy and accessible, and also too, you can give access to people with a specific folder, and then they have access for everything within that folder, so subfolders and other documents, as opposed to them just having access to one specific document. You can give them access to one specific document, but you can also give them access to an entire shared area, which is pretty cool about Google Drive. Moving on to services that we use on our phone, and it's very easy to utilize and these are probably things you've heard of before, but you may not have thought about using it from your phone, is Craigslist. Sometimes we go into a house and we need to sell something like an appliance. It's real easy to just take a quick picture on your phone, post it to Craigslist, and next thing you know, you have someone knocking on your door ready to pick up the item in a couple hours, which is really easy and convenient, and it doesn't take that much work to do. Of course, I have to say, BiggerPockets, you should always have that app on your phone. It's a great way to stay in touch with people, a good reference point, especially BiggerPockets just updated their mobile app. I'm not sure if everyone's aware of it, but it is incredible, and it was a really good upgrade. So definitely make sure, if you don't have the latest version, make sure to upgrade your BiggerPockets app. The next service app that we use is one that I know a lot of people aren't familiar with, and this is the only one I can think of that we actually, we didn't pay for it when we initially got it, but they do now charge for the application, which is Scanner Pro. It's very minimal. It's a couple dollars. I think it's like $3 or something to add it to your phone, but I highly recommend Scanner Pro. Scanner Pro provides the ability to scan any document by taking a picture on your phone and automatically PDFing that document, and you can email from within the application to the person you want to send the PDF document to. This comes in handy. I can't even tell you how many times I've had to use Scanner Pro to sign documents and to send to people all over the world. This is because a lot of people can't receive JPEG documents, for example, like pictures, if someone doesn't know what JPEG, what type of document that typically is. But for PDFing a document, there's no document better than Scanner Pro. Plus, it saves the documents, and it will collate the documents too. So you can take, if you have a document and it's 10 pages, You just go through page by page and take the pictures, and you can edit the document and separate out the pages, or you can keep the documents all together. This comes in very handy when you're trying to sign off on any sort of paper copy that someone makes you still sign off on, like, for example, a seller's disclosure or something like that. The next the next application we use is Handy. I learned about this a couple years ago. It's an application that provides services, and it's linked to different areas. So if you need someone in a jam to do a quick plumbing fix, or a roof leak or something very minimal, you can check the area and the contractors in that area with Handy, and the rate is typically a lot less than what you would pay from another contractor, because it's based on geography. And obviously, if your contractor is closer to the site, it's easier and cheaper to get the work done. We also utilize the Zillow and HomeSnap apps. Those are great. One of the features I really like about Zillow is when you're looking for a property and you're driving around, you can actually put current location, and as long as you have the map, the location identifier on your phone, that setting turned on, Zillow can identify where you are, and they can automatically show you the houses that you're driving by that are for sale. Even if they aren't for sale, you can pull it up right away. So sometimes when my husband's driving, if I did not have this ability to do it, it would be really hard for me to write down real quickly what the address is. By the time I've noticed that the house is in disarray, I may not even have noticed the address of the property. However, by having the Zillow app, you can look it up right away. It's a great tool, and it's worked out really well at identifying houses that when we're just driving around and not really knowing where we're going. Another great app is Stitcher. For anyone who likes to listen to podcasts, I highly recommend the Stitcher app. The Stitcher app allows you to add different podcasts and then favorite them, and it also allows you to download those podcasts in advance. So when you're in areas where there's no internet connection, say for example on a plane, as long as those podcasts were downloaded in advance, Stitcher saves all of those podcasts so you can listen to them on the plane. Another great feature about Stitcher is it allows you to speed up the podcast, which I really like. It makes the most use of your time. So as opposed to listen to the podcast in a normal mode, you can increase it. I believe it's 1.2, 1.5, and then 2.0. For anyone who talks really quick, half is probably the limit, but as long as you have that feature, it's really helpful when trying to make the most of your time, because remember, time is money. The next applications we use concern calendar, so we have a little bit of discussion amongst our family on what's the better calendar app. Google probably is the better calendar app, but 3 of the 4 of us have iPhones, so we prefer to use the iPhone calendar. iPhone, I don't know if people really know this or not, but iPhone has the ability to have different categories of calendars, and it's different, it can be color coordinated, so you can actually put in different statuses of your project and people who are coming to the house, or whatever in your scheduling based on the project, and you can color code it and have different calendars as a subset, which is great to have. Of course, Google Calendar has the integration factor as well, has the reminder settings, everything. So Google Calendar is a great calendar application to use. In terms of design, there is an application, it's called Magic Plan. It is very rudimentary, so I'm not saying that this is going to be the end-all be-all for you. However, it's a great starting point if you don't have paper, I forget what the paper is called, but with the grids for mapping out your design. Magic Plan actually has that ability. They have very basic features, and then you can also pay to upgrade for other features, or you can just write in, you know, a toilet if the toilet is an upgrade to add in if you're doing a bathroom design. So we really like to use that because it's a good tool to use for tracking, or excuse me, laying out floor plans. We also, for design, like to use Houzz to get inspiration, and also to Houzz has a lot of products tied within their inspiration, so you can link right to the product and be able to purchase the product or know the price. Another design app that's great is Pinterest. I didn't start using that until a few years ago, but I really enjoy Pinterest. It's really easy to communicate with different members on the team if you're able to share a picture with them. And actually, Houzz and Pinterest both have that ability by creating shared boards. So if you want to explain to your tile person that you want the tile done a certain way and you were inspired by Pinterest, you can share that picture with the tile person and they know exactly what you're talking about. So the next thing that I'll talk about is Google Photos. A few years ago, I was really struggling with a receipt tracker, and I didn't know the best receipt tracker to utilize because every application I was looking for didn't fulfill everything that I needed in tracking receipts. So I even contemplated building my own receipt tracker and then selling it as, you know, another passive income stream, because why not, right? But what I realized is that Google Photos actually has a large capacity to hold a large amount of images, and it's very easy for you to filter through those images to find the receipt that you're looking for. So I highly recommend, if you would are struggling like me for a receipt tracker, Google Photos is a great, I know it's not thought of as a receipt storage area, but it actually is a great tool to use for tracking your receipts, because Google also has the ability, you can search for receipts, you can search by date, so it's really easy to find your receipts. You can also share accounts too, so it's great with when you have other people on the team. Every other application I looked for, they charged extra for every additional member that you are sharing, to have the ability to have that person upload a receipt. Google does not. It's free once again. So go Google. Another thing that we do is we market a lot of our flipping business on Instagram and on Facebook and through our website. So for marketing, we need tools as well. For marketing, we use an app called Poster to create some better appealing looking before and after pictures. We use the application called Typorama. Obviously, we use Instagram and Facebook, as I mentioned, so those are two applications we have on our phone. We also use Pick, Post, and Play. That allows you to make a collage with both pictures and video within the same collage, or you can just make a video, or you can do just all pictures, still images. So it allows for you to have that ability to be really creative. Boomerang is another very trendy app right now, so we have that as another app that we use when going back and forth. It's kind of a cheeky little application we use. Layout is another application we use for collage building and live collage. And we also have LinkedIn as another application for making sure that our business has a presence on there as well. With regards to communication, we utilize either GroupMe or group text. So GroupMe is an application that is very similar to group text. It has a survey feature. It also has a calendar feature. It stores shared photos, similarly to how group texts do as well. So it's just another communication tool that you can use, or you can use a group text. iPhones have group texts. I know Androids do as well. So that's pretty much how we communicate to keep people in the loop. On our apartment syndications, we use Slack, which is very similar to GroupMe and group text, so it works the same way. And then also too, we've utilized Wova when we've gone to different um, trainings and conventions and staying in touch with people that we meet during those meetings. So I know this is just a snapshot of what we use, and I know that other people do use some other applications. Sorry, there's one other application I forgot to mention, which is Showing Time. Showing Time is an application that can be used to either book a showing, to see a house, and or to allow realtors to book showings to see your house. And it's an automated system. It also includes an automated feedback receipt that the realtor is supposed to fill out to provide feedback to you immediately after the showing. It's a great tool when used correctly, and it's one that we've implemented on all of our houses when we list them. So I know that other people have used Podio and some other different applications. However, these are the applications that have allowed us to run our business. And if you join me right after I got started on this podcast, we went to Mexico last week. We were able to leave 2 days after finding out about this free hotel room, and all we were able to do this, and I was able to take my phone and run our entire business off of my phone. And to give you a perspective, we have one house under contract, one house that is on the market, one house that's going on the market tomorrow, actually. We have 2 houses that are under rehab. We have a 124 unit apartment building that's under rehab in Texas. I mean, we're really all over the place, and we really need to have the ability to keep working even though we're on vacation, and all I had to do was bring my phone. So with that being said, I'm going to open it up to a few questions. And then I know it's late here on the East Coast, so I'll let everyone off pretty quickly. But if you can just type some questions, I'll try to answer them for you. And if you have any ideas for any future topics you want me to talk about, please feel free to mention them as well, and I'll make sure to add them to an upcoming topic. So, am I going to put these apps in the description? I can create a cheat sheet for everyone, and if you send me your email address, I can email them to you. That's not a problem. So please feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook or BiggerPockets, or just leave your email address. Well, actually, I don't want to do that in case I don't want people to spam you. So feel free to just message me on BiggerPockets, or message me on Facebook, and I'll make sure to share the list with everyone. What kind of business is this? So I already covered that earlier. So right now we're doing flipping, and we're also doing apartment syndication. However, I did live in Europe while we were also doing short-term and long-term rentals and flipping. So really you can do this for any type of business. Okay, so let's see if there are any. I think that might be all the questions. How many properties do we have? Let me see here. Okay, how many properties do we have? So while we were on vacation in Mexico, we had one house that was under contract, and that settles in 2 weeks. We have one house going on the market this week, actually tomorrow. We have uh, another house that's already on market, so it's going through showings. We have one under rehab, and then we have a 124 unit apartment building in Texas. How did we get started? We got started in doing rentals. My husband always wanted to get into real estate investing, and he joined BiggerPockets when BiggerPockets first launched. He was looking for a retirement plan for us that fit how we think. We're typically conservative minded investors. So we started out slowly and have dabbled into a few different fields. How are we finding deals in Texas, let alone multifamily? The apartment building in Texas was an off market offering, and that was built through, we actually are co sponsoring this syndication. So we are general partners with another company that identified the property through a relationship that they had built up with the broker. Awesome. Let's see. What is my name? My name is Ashley Wilson, and the two companies that we have are How's It Look, that's our flipping company, and we have a website, howsitlook.com, if anyone wants to get in touch with us. And then our apartment investing company is called Bar Down Investments. So if that is, those are all the questions. Please feel free to message me questions afterwards. And thank you everyone for joining the call tonight. I really hope that this was informational, and I also hope that this is helpful for anyone who's looking to be mobile, but still do their business, and from anywhere in the world. Really, you can do your business from anywhere in the world from your phone. And thanks again for joining. Have a good night.